Yo, 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 come on in, man. Come on in. Come on in. Let's talk. Let's talk some football, man. It's a Sunday, man. It's a Sunday. I went to church, man. Got a good word today. So I came in with a positive spirit, even though
Positive.
it's a lot of negative things going on. But you got to keep your eyes on the prize, to stay straight on the arrow, and everything will work itself out. One thing about the devil, he gonna always try to attack you from your blind side. So you just got to be ready. But Chris, man, what's good? Tell everybody what's going on with you.
Hey man, it's time to check a little temperature. We were creeping up on the last final OTAs, so we're gonna talk about a few storylines that could be going into it. Just general old Falcon talk on this good old Sunday. Not gonna hold
Right.
you guys long, but definitely just wanna again, peep the vibes, see everybody's feeling, who everybody's liking, who we think on the bubble, all that good stuff like that. Coming into this OTAs before we get to mandatory minicamp, and it's going to be interesting to see who shows up because it's mandatory. But I'm talking about someone in particular, like James Pierce Jr. It'll be interesting to see him at
What I
OT.
heard, he'll be there. From
Yeah,
what I
it'd be great for him to be there. I mean, of course, I know that there are going to be a million people running up to him and want to get comments from him. Everything. He's going to get asked about the situation. He's going to get asked, can he give any kind of details or anything like that. But mostly, I'm just ready to get back to football, man. It's less than 100
right.
days. We're about what, like 98 days, I believe, now from the start of the season. So I can't wait, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, with old Travis Hall days, old number
Yeah,
98.
yes, sir.
But man, before we get started, I do have to say this. Um, I got to give a shout out to Hank Dorsey, man. If y'all will please pray for his family. Hank Dorsey passed away on last week. He was one of my biggest supporters ever since I started this channel.
Mhm.
Used to always go at it on Twitter. He used to always send me questions in my inbox to do videos on if I did mailbag questions. Hank Dorsey, um, to me, was one of the most stand up guys that you ever wanted to know as a Falcon fan. If you go to
Mhm.
Facebook and you see on his page, his wife would tell you nobody loved the Falcon more than Hank. Hank would tell me, man, look, I agree with you, but I don't agree with you. And this is why. I always kept it respectful. And look, whenever you saw him out, Hank had on some things altered to the Falcons. And I'm sort of like that myself. I always got on something black and red. You can ask Chris. Something I always got on black and red. But yeah, Hank Dorsey passed away last week. So prayers up to
Mm.
his wife and his family, his kids. So man, look, we don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, and this is why Chris always tell y'all, find your peace. And this is why I always tell y'all keep God first, because we just don't never know. There's gonna be a day where nobody sees that next morning. So take advantage of the time while you can. Love on everybody. Always be kind, man, because kindness can take you a long way. And it shows, your personality and all of that. So, yeah, shout out to Hank Dorsey, man. You're going to be missed by the Falcon community, the Falcon groups on Facebook. You're going to be missed by A1 in the sports machine.
Mhm.
Prayers up, like I said, to his wife and family, man. He going to be missed. So I
Definitely
just
pray.
had to say that because I meant to say it the other day, but I was so sidetracked because I had a lot going on. But yes, Hank Dorsey passed away. Shouts out to him, and I hope he's gonna look down on us and put us in good spirits in this 2026 season.
Facts, facts. Yeah, but the two well, first of all, again, condolences to the family, but I also want to say, kind of like pep the show back up. Hey, man, salute to all the graduates, man. Salute to all the graduates, the ones who
Absolutely,
graduated
200%.
from
Yes,
elementary school going to middle school going to high school going to college, or if they're just in between, going just to the next grade. It's always an accomplishment, and shout out to all the parents who are there for their kids, making sure they get
right.
to the school, for the teachers and all this stuff like that. And man, shout out to the teachers as well. I always say they don't get paid enough.
Boy,
They really
hey
don't.
Chris, I've been saying that since I was probably about 25 years old. I mean,
Right,
look, they babysit your kids 8 hours out the day. They with the kids more than
right.
you on the daily during the school year if you don't recognize it, because they're there in the morning for breakfast, eat lunch, then after school some of them stay after school for tutorials, sports activities. So yeah, deserve to be played like lawyers and doctors. I always say, but
Yeah, man.
yeah,
So shout out to everybody, man. But yeah, man, shout out to the chat as well. Everybody starting to come on in on this Sunday again. You know, I would appreciate y'all coming in. Just a little Sunday conversation, man. We're getting tomorrow starting the final rounds of OTAs. There's a few storylines that are coming out already. Of course, you already know the main storyline. The storyline of this going to be hitting all summer long, and we talked about it. The quarterback situation. Right now, if just with all the reports that are out, it seems like Tua has the upper hand to me because, of course, he's healthy. He's taking more snaps with the ones, but Michael Penix is still getting snaps as well. They are divvying up those snaps the best way that they possibly can. But of course, just understand that if there are 15 snaps, I expect Tua to get eight out of the 15 just because he's the more healthy. But I still expect Penix to still get 7. So, it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be anybody that kind of like, saying like takes a step forward and maybe like, leaves the other guy behind, or if they're going to be still neck and neck. One thing I can say is Tua has thrown more interceptions than Michael Penix right now. So take that forward as well, what you will as well. What you think, Smitty?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100% on Tua. And we've been talking about it on the show for a while. The healthier person is probably gonna be the one to start. There's nothing against nobody. Y'all can throw all that blame and that nonsense. Y'all can just cancel all that because at the end of the day, it's about who's healthy, who they can teach the most that gets out there on the field first, and that's why they brought Tua in. They didn't really bring him in to sit; they brought him in to compete, and it's nothing wrong with that because at the end of the day, you got to see, what's best for the team at the end of the day. And if they find out who's best for the team at that point, that's who's going to get the start. No matter if it's Tua, Penix, hell, Strand, what the other guy named Trevor Simeon, it just don't matter. It just don't matter. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. But one thing that I want to see the interesting battle with me is to see how that cornerback 2 spot goes. Can Mike Hughes hold off Arion Terrell? Can he hold off guys like Darnay Holmes? Just anybody that they brought in or drafted? Can he hold on that number 2 spot? That's what I want to see because I think that secondary is going to be key to this pass rush still going into this season. We had 57 sacks last year. We got to find a way to keep that going. And when we talked about versatility at these positions, safeties playing nickel, other safety playing inside hybrid linebacker style. So the secondary is going to be key, man. It's going to be key.
Facts, man. I can't wait for it because again, this is very important, and like we talked about it before, and I know people don't like hearing it, but again, we like to bring everything to the table and put it on the table, and then you can make your decisions and make your assumptions, conclusions, all that stuff like that. But it is the fact that um, I asked, and the reason why I bring this up, or this point up right here, because I asked a question that I'm going to ask you guys as well. But we do have a couple quarterbacks that they've gone through a few injuries, and you gotta make sure that you're going to keep those guys upright. That's why also you bring in a Bill Callahan as well to get the best of the best out of the offensive line. And of course, it's going to be a different scheme. Not going to be that zone scheme. It's going to be like a gap. It's going to be a gap scheme, which is totally different.
North to south.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
more
So
north south instead of east west. Yeah.
right, and instead of Bajan making like the reads and seeing exactly where he's going to go, it's going to be already a predetermined hole already made for Bajan. That's why you're going to have those down blocks and those pulling guards doing what they're going to do. But yeah, I asked a question to a friend, and saying I just want to know like how Falcon fans are thinking. Do you feel more confident about the quarterback room this year compared to last year, or do you feel like the quarterback room this year is actually worse, even though we do have capable guys? Do you feel like just the names, or you feel like in the statuses, do you feel like the quarterback room is worse last year, or do you feel like it's better than last year?
Ooh, that's a good question, Chris. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna say it's better than last year. And the reason why I say this, um, we've talked about the coaching staff for the last 2 3 months, well, the last 2 months since the new league year started. Well, 3 months, because the 13th will be 3 months. But ever since the new league year started, what we brought in as far as coaches, I feel like it's better from that standpoint. Period. And if they can lay down the foundation of what they want to do offensively, which I think they're doing in OTA to get the guys an idea of what direction, where you want to go on offense, I think it's better. One, because it's being put together properly. We had a guy, and we talked about this 1,000 times. Zach Robinson, first time guy, really didn't know what he was doing. First time being in position to lead, and we saw it. And I don't know how he got a job in Tampa. Maybe he was down at the strip club, saw somebody in there that he needed to see to help him get on. But again, when you think about the coaching staff as a whole, this is where the improvement is going to come in, because we saw last year on a inconsistent basis what this offense could be when it was clicking. And now that you get somebody in that wants to that implements what they really want to do, and they're getting the players to buy into it early to where they want to teach them. Because as I told y'all, with Kirk Cousins last year, he was Zach Robinson eyes on the field, and he would come back and tell Zach Robinson exactly what he saw, and then I guess Zach picked that off and called plays off of that. But let's be real, Kirk Cousins was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach last year. So yeah, I feel like with the coaching staff that we brought in with Inkstrand, Van Pelt, Reese, and Stefanski, it's a complete offensive staff, and I think that's going to be the key to this team winning games this year. Because I feel like Albrecht done enough last year, coming back with even more talent, in my opinion. He can put up a similar season like he did last season. So it's just on the offensive staff and what they want to do.
Appreciate that, Michael. Really appreciate that. But yeah, I feel that okay. Let me see what we got. We got. It's better than last year significantly. Better than last year. Okay, okay. How's everyone else feeling? As you know, you can always put the one for better than last year, two for not better than last year.
Or three, we'll see when we get there.
Right.
Joel, I don't think we'll make a trade for a right tackle. I think they paid Jawan Taylor. And I think it was the right move. And then they brought in people through the draft and unrestricted free agents. But the key, and Chris been saying it, and I've been saying it, Bill Callahan is going to be the key to that. So I don't think they really have to stress about it, because when you put the right people in the right place, such as a Bill Callahan, to go along with the type offensive lineman that we have in Bergeron, Lindstrom, Matthews, I think they'll be fine, man. 3 of the 5 positions are solidified. So since you have 3 positions that's solidified, those 3 positions are going to carry the rest of the offensive line and bring it along. But they made some dynamic moves in the draft and undrafted free agents and free agency. So I don't think they'll worry about it.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna tell you why why this even came about, because after speaking to some Falcon fans, and of course, my thing is, the great thing about it is, if you get lucky, you can run into some good Falcon fans just about anywhere. So
I do it all the time.
yeah, and so it's like just having like little conversations and asking, checking the temperature, as you will, similar like this. It's like the reason why some people say that this quarterback room is actually worse than last year is the fact that we have 2 guys that the wrong guy misses a block, the wrong guy, rolls the wrong guy rolls the wrong way, or gets rolled up on, anything like that. You can possibly have another injury to Michael Penix, to Tua Tagovailoa. Now, to me, my rebuttal to that is, I mean, injuries are a part of football, and it can happen on any play. So, you can't be afraid of that. But at the same time, I get what they're saying, because it's like, okay, if something happens to Penix, if something happens to Tua, what I'm saying? Of course, we're knocking on wood for all those things. You'll be reduced to Trevor Siemian and Jack Strand. And they feel if you get down to Siemian and Strand, your season is a bust, because Strand is still coming along. Are you ready to start Strand week 1? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got Trevor Siemian. Yeah, he's won games, but again, that's not a guy that you want to be running out there week 1 or week anything, you know what I'm saying, to be your starter. You're banking on Tua and you're banking on Penix. And
Agreed.
some fans are afraid because again, Tua get hit. I mean, excuse me, Penix get hit below the knees. That could be a knee again. And Tua, if he just get hit the wrong way and that head hit the ground, that can be even worse. So that is why that question even came about. I just want to know how Falcon fans are feeling about it. Me personally, I know injuries are a part of the game, and you know, in one thing I've said this in the past, and I haven't said it in a while, but if there's anything that's going to happen to you, trying to hide you away from different things and try to take you away from it's going to happen anyway. If it was meant for you to
Facts.
walk to the bail box and slip and fall, even though there's no ice down there, guess what? You're gonna slip and fall. You know what I'm saying? We can't do anything by hiding guys and playing scared, because that's honestly how you get yourself in trouble right there too. Playing
Facts.
scared and not just going off. That just that little bit of hesitation can get your behind hurt. So,
That's what I'm talking about. Hey,
so
boy, you own it.
I'm just
You
saying
own
you
it.
can't play scared, because we talked about this before about playing guys in the preseason. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Think about the freak accidents and the freak injuries we see. Think about the non-contact injuries. Think about what happened with Braylon Trice. Nobody expected Braylon Trice to have that ACL injury the way he did, and now he's going through what he's going through. But guess what? Whether if it happened then or if we set him out and it happened in a big game, let's say week 3, and we need that pass rush, and then all of a sudden it happens then.
Agreed.
Regardless, if it's meant to happen to you. If it's in your story, it's going to happen.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I've said this numerous times. If we fall down to Jack Strand, the number 3, 4 quarterback, however you want to name him, I'm gonna just let the rookie go for it and take his launch, just like Penny should have took his launch the first season. You don't take a step back, you take a step forward. And the way you do that, you let him go for it. And if you need to bring in another veteran or fourth quarterback, then you do that. But you let the
Right.
young guy take his lumps early. And then it's just hypothetical. We're not saying it's gonna happen, but let's keep it real. Dude, I said it. We don't think that they're going to take a step back by going to get another young quarterback. They'll go get another veteran because this is a win now team and the window is still open. And the way to keep that window open is you go find a quarterback. You have ready for a Jameis Winston or somebody like that that's proven. You go for it. So I mean, look, that's just the way it is. But let's get it said with a brand. Y'all see this a top 10 offense. And this goes back to what somebody else said right after you. And Dirty Bird Game said, to be honest, a whole new offense, coaching and players, it's going to take time for this offense to get to jail. And don't expect them to be great out the gate. And that's true. And I agree with that. And that's probably where I was going to go. If everything gels properly the right way, and like I said before, if this play action, this vertical game works like I think it can,
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a top 10 offense because the more that vertical game opens up,
15.
or that run game opened up, it's gonna be vice versa. If the run game gets going early, it's gonna open up the play action, take shots downfield. If you take shots downfield and they back off the line of scrimmage, it's gonna open up the run game. So it's vice versa. It's just got to jail. Once it jails, then hey, I mean we good to go.
I mean, think about 2015, you know, when Shanahan first came in, things didn't click right away. We had to,
Right.
you know, get a season to get the system under the belt, and then next thing you know, the next year is when we took off. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage Falcon fans or anything, and saying, oh, Tip, you saying, man, we gotta wait another year. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is most times it does take time for guys to gel. The timing,
Right.
especially when you're using timing routes, anticipation of throws, all that stuff come with repetitions and knowing the guy that you're playing with. So it's like
Facts.
going to take time, yes, but we're just hoping that it's not going to take a lot of time. We're hoping that even if it does take a few games to jail, that it's not going to take half the season just to jail, and then down the stretch you start winning 3, 4 games, you know, and like as some people say, meaningless games when you're out of the playoff race or anything like that. That's what you're hoping for.
Agreed. That's what you're hoping for. That's all you can ask for. Furball, what's up, nephew? He
What's that?
said, sorry, been gone, been dealing with mental health. But for Penix or Tua, I think Tua wins just
Mhm.
because he's a vet. To be honest, when Penix was playing, offense was rusty, and when Kurt came in, we were better. And again, that goes back to veteran experience. If we didn't have that veteran experience in Kurt, we probably would have been much worse than we were last year, record wise. So to have that veteran presence in the quarterback room is going to be key. And if you've been listening to Tua, he's telling you he's learning and he's teaching at the same time. And as a veteran quarterback, that's what you're supposed to do, especially for your teammate. So Penix is going to get good teaching from the quarterback position from Tua and Simeon, and also from that offensive staff that we hired. So I think he's in good hands, and both of them in good hands. Really, it just got to go out and execute. But let me say this before we move on. Furball, I think I told you this before, man, but I know how it is to deal with that, man. Please, just pray every day and thank God, and tell God to guide your feet, man, and put you in the right direction. And I know it's hard to deal with because mental health is no joke. Trust me, I've talked to, former player, God rest his soul, just passed away. And he told me about mental issues, and we talked about it for a good little while. And I know it's not easy, and I know it's easy for me to say. But when I do say this, man, please trust in God. And I know I remember you saying something about going off to school. So please focus on school and please focus on heading in the right direction, and God will work everything out for you, man. Trust me, he will. Just put a foot forward and he'll pick up the other foot and step with you, man. Trust me. I know this. I've been there.
That's why you got to ask him to order your steps, man. For real.
Absolutely.
But I know, and Tip, what happened? Tip, I saw it. I guess that's Falcon. I guess that's Falcons Digest.
Falcon Digest, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I do. I've been with the same person as far as with my hair for, man, at least about 9 to 12, somewhere 9 to 12 years, somewhere
10
like
years. I think 10 years. You told me.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm good. I'm taken care of. I really appreciate that though. Yeah, man. I try to keep it healthy. Next
Jay
thing I
Black.
want to talk about. What's up, Jay Black?
Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
Next thing I want to talk about. Now that the dust has settled, and the fact that Drake London's extension, the ink is finally dry. I want to know, how are we feeling about Drake London and his extension? We're getting. I feel like it's been a mixed bag. I feel like it's been mostly Falcon fans realize who Drake is to the Falcons. Not necessarily looking at the league. You got to stop looking at the league and look at the Falcons. And Drake is the number one wide receiver for the Falcons. And if you lose Drake London, Jahan Dotson becomes your number one. And no disrespect to Jahan, but I wouldn't want him coming into this season as my number one receiver. I like the role that he can possibly be, possibly the number 3 option. And I say number 3 because you still have Kyle Pitts. So he may be the number 3 option and possibly can find a Darnell Mooney-esque type season when Darnell first got here, or at least, somewhere familiarizing with it. But still, Drake London, $141 million extension for 4 years, eligible to get up to 150 with those incentives, $100 million guarantee. So we're back to $100 million reasons why. And I want to know how everyone is feeling about it. I know, Smitty, you said what you said, how you feel about it. But I just want to know how we feeling, Falcon fans, about Drake's extension, and realize Drake London is now the highest paid Atlanta sports star in Atlanta. Jalen Johnson makes $30 million a season, and you have Drake London now with 35.5. Now, of course, you got the guys like Austin Riley. I seen a graphic with Austin Riley and Matt Olson. Those guys are making like in the 20s and stuff like that. And some Falcon fans are asking, well, how in the world is Drake London making more than guys who have won a championship? Talking about Austin Riley.
That's an easy answer.
It really is. But again, these are questions that people are asking. Is this just what people are thinking when they see that money going to Drake, and then they see other guys play sports that are long, that take to play? When I mean by that, as in baseball having all those games, and then they're saying, dang, he getting paid more than a baseball player. So, like you said, easy answer. of course, talking about that market and talking about those TV deals and etc. But again, like I said, I've been talking too long about it. I want to know how the fans feel. Drake London, how are we feeling about this extension? And Smitty, give me your thoughts now that the dust has settled.
Um, I was against it at first, and to this day, I'm still against it a little bit because I
Mm,
look at it in this aspect. Um, you had the top receiver in the NFL at one point in Julio Jones. Julio Jones didn't even make this kind of money, and I know it's the market at the end of the day. But does Drake have Julio type talent? Um, I would say certain characteristics as far as height, weight, 50-50 contested catches, and and he had decent hands. But the reason why I didn't agree with it because I just don't believe in paying the wide receiver that kind of money. And then it's just really at the end of the day is who the Falcons trust. And like you said, and we're gonna get on that, on another video. Uh, he's the number one receiver on the team, and without him, who do you have? And that's the way the Falcons looked at it as an organization, because you have somebody that's cemented here, who's been here of some through his first contract, and they trust him. And it wouldn't make sense to go out and pay another receiver that's got to come in, learn the system, learn the team, and things of that nature, and just start all over. It's just like I said about the quarterback position. You don't want to start over, so you go pay the guy that you already have. And think about it. He was on base for a career year last year, and they seen that. When
mm-hmm.
he missed those 5 games with a severe PCL sprain, they knew he was on pace to set new team, well, not team record, but to set a new personal record and get better. So if he stays healthy, he's going to be on the same trajectory in 2026. And with two viable starting quarterbacks with those numbers, hey, I mean, you got to pay him. You have to.
Yeah, and the chat they're making some great points. Just think about the Amazon drivers that been throwing the ball to Drake. And he's been having to deal with that. I mean, and just yeah. I mean, I joke, but all jokes aside, though, like it just was a substandard at quarterback. Ever since Matty, and this, ever since Matt Ryan retired, or should I say, ever since we had to trade Matt Ryan after trying to go after Deshaun Watson, you know, we've been searching for that quarterback. And yeah, we tried Ritter, we tried Mariota, we tried Heineke, we tried Cousins, and we're working on Michael Penix and trying Tua. So it's like we have still been in that quarterback purgatory. But one thing that has been consistent is every year Drake London would get better. Even dealing with the quarterback situation that he was dealing with, he still would get better. His numbers would get better. His importance to the team in the locker room, in the run game, just on the sidelines, what I'm saying, pumping guys up, preparation, all that different stuff. And most importantly, maybe staying out of trouble. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's the key
all those
thing.
things when you
Yeah,
think about it, all those
absolutely.
things, man, you got I hate to say it, but you got to pay for all that stuff. When a guy is doing right, staying out of trouble, keeping your name out the mud, yeah, go ahead and skim them down a little something, something for that too. Because in this day and age, we already know guys will crash out, whether it's money on the line or not. And I'm not aiming that at any one of our guys in particular. I'm talking about the sports world as a whole, basketball, baseball, it don't matter. What I'm saying? Like we know we're like guys will do that. So, and I understand sometimes you can be revoked to do it and you just lose your head. But regardless, the guys that are able to keep themselves out of situations like that, be a locker room help, not a cancer in any regard, helps in the run game, tough as nails, defends the honor of his teammates on the field, regardless, ready to get in there and mix it up with anybody. You got to pay for that.
Yeah, facts.
That's just not everybody.
Yeah. And DBG said Drake deserved his money, no doubt. I think he's been force fed, which has led to his injuries. Quarterback throwing to tight windows. I've seen Drake take a lot of hits. Drake London's a key part to this run game as well, and that's what people don't talk about enough. He's absolutely one of the best run blocking wide receivers in the league. So
Yeah.
when you look at it that aspect as well, he deserved it in every facet. But it's just me personally, and I got not. It actually was funny. Um, I had somebody in my comment section say the same thing that I said. You don't pay a wide receiver. Then who was that? Marzino. I put out a video on that the other day.
Mhm.
Marzino was pissed that
Yeah,
Drake London. He said, it messes up the cap room, which I don't agree, because the contract don't start the next year when the cap goes up.
it's
So
a
I mean, it
true
was right on time. Go ahead.
it's a true extension because he's playing on the franchise tag this year. Then
16.3.
then the new contract, with the 35, yes, it kicks in next year. But guess what? With everything that happened with Kirk Cousins, yeah, we don't get really much of anything this year, but next year is when that 45 million dead cap hits. We can just drop the contract right into that,
Right.
because we are projected to have nearly $140 million. Do you
Right.
really, if we get 141 million, who is really worried about Drake London's 35 million out of that? When you're
No,
still going
nobody,
to
because
have
you
at least
still
one
got
of those
100 million. Yeah, you still got 100 million
Yes.
after that.
So again, and we're talking about just one extension. We still have other guys that we got to extend as well. I mean, that was one of the biggest ones, but you also have Bijan Robinson, who actually, if the Falcons really wanted to take it down to the last hour, they could, because they don't even have to extend him this year. I just would do
Nope.
it and get it out the way. But he
Get
still
ahead
is
of the
on
game.
a rookie deal and has
Right.
another year left of eligibility. And you can end up taking him through the same situation that you are with Drake. Franchise, pick up that 5th year option, let him play on that, give him an extension, and let the extension start the following year after Drake. You could do that too, but
Next.
honestly, I don't want to do that because I don't want, me personally, I don't want Gibbs to get paid and it may hinder the Falcons on what they got to do. Then you may have to structure the contract differently. And let's just be honest, Bijan has outplayed his rookie contract. Come
Oh,
on now.
absolutely.
He outplayed it.
Absolutely. Back-to-back season over 1,400 rushing yards. Yeah, he outplayed it. Think about it. He nearly had 1,000 yards in rookie season. But he had to share the low with Tyler Algier. So, I mean, things like that. Rookie, it just takes a hit. But DBG said with the right quarterbacking system, Drake is a top 10, is a 10 touchdown, 1,000 yard receiver easily. Great red zone target as well. And he don't get enough credit for that either. He don't.
Mm-hmm. Unselfish with him, but Ron said, "Come on, man. So far, he's proven that he's very good, but hasn't proven to be great." Okay, I'm gonna touch on that in a second. For a guy that's not a deep threat, I agree. He's making money of a great receiver. Julio was born too soon. God, now that last one, that last one
Come
was
on, Ron.
yeah, hey
Come
man,
on.
I hate that Julio. We couldn't have Julio right now. But either way it goes, man. Going back to the beginning of that, fam. That's when I said earlier, I was like, you can't think about it from the NFL perspective. I know really you're supposed to, I get it, but I'm talking about from the Falcons perspective. Again, you don't pay Drake, you let him walk. Then all you have is Kyle Pitts, who some people are not sold on him, who is sometimey, I'm saying, himself. And think about it, he didn't even start flourishing to the end of the season, only because Drake was out. The targets were going to him. Think about if Drake never got hurt and Drake had, let's say, over 1,300 yards, a couple more touchdowns, let's say about 12 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, and Kyle Pitts never had that 3 touchdown game that he got. Let's say he never, had the last couple of games that he got. Then how you would be feeling about Kyle Pitts, because Drake London would have been taking all the targets.
Yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
Falcons' number one wide receiver. Even if you was to shop him around and he ended up being a number 2 on, let's say, 7 or 8 different contenders, at the end of the day, he is the Falcons' number one wide receiver, and the
Yeah.
Falcons had to pay him as such. Or
Yeah. And that's just like the Cowboy paying CD Lamb. Even though a lot of people didn't agree with it, he was their number one guy.
yeah, I
And
would I
just
would have
like
paid, but no
and
question, I
just
would have
like
paid.
George Pickens, who proved to be another number one, if they paid him, I wouldn't be mad because he put up numbers last year to garner that. He came over
Man,
to a new team coming over from Pittsburgh where he should have got a deal done, but they went out to Metcalf instead. Goes over to Dallas. CD goes down with an injury. Guess what he does? He steps up, becomes that number one guy. So
yeah,
guys like that are worth the money. But Ghost Peppers, he put this in my comment box. And there's another tweet I'm gonna put up after this one. He said NFL, almost any player can be traded if a team offers an overwhelming package. The reality is keeping a player usually means no opposing team met the aggressive asking price rather than the player being completely untouchable. And that goes for anybody. He's
That's fact.
absolutely correct. And this is where things went left just a little bit. Um, Maria McCoy, and they had a knockdown, drag out comment, back and forth with this, and they kept it respectful. And he said, "I like Bijan and Pitts, but you can trade them both." Yes, Bijan is the team, but the man said he can't mortgage the future over the now, and I get that part.
Yeah, talking about
Get more picks, yeah, get more picks. Keep building the trenches and your team's depth. You can always find a good running back when you have a good offensive line, and that's true to a certain extent. But you don't always get a generational type player at the running back position. A Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson type running back. That's the class, but John, that's the class he's in right now. And I can go even sooner, president that with Saquon Barkley. He fits into that same situation, that same conversation. And Jameer Gibbs does as well. So at the end of the day, you just got to pay who you need to pay, and you worry about the rest later. And again, Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, Joe Johnson got the nightcap show. They talked about Kyle Pitts just a little bit, and I'm going to do a separate video about that. But at the same time, I know the cap starts next year, but you still got to make smart moves. We talked about Pitts. We've talked about London. We haven't even talked about Lindstrom. He's going to be $28 to $30 million. We haven't even talked about Jesse Bates. If they re-sign him, that's another $30 to $40 million. So
Devon Diablo, Zach Harris,
Devon Diablo, yeah,
exactly. I mean, Matthew Bergeron. We can keep going on, family. There's not just one guy that needs to be extended or two. So I'm just saying, even if they're smaller contracts, regardless, it still has to be handled or let them walk.
Right. Brandon, what's up, my guy? RCNG086. He put this on the comment section of my YouTube channel.
Family had a paragraph.
He said, with the cap increasing every year, I would trade Pitts, pay Bijan. Bijan's already outplayed his contract, like Chris said. He's our best player he gets. He's a great person off the field. Unfortunately, we won't be able to pay a quarterback top money for at least 2 to 3 years. And I've been saying that for a while, but that could change in the near future. I'll get into it in a second. Tua would have to take us to the playoffs for us to offer him a contract. If Penny took us to the playoffs, we just pick up his 5th-year option. Pitts is a good player, but I prioritize Bijan over Pitts. You can't just draft the running back, do what Bijan can do. And he just reiterated what I just said. Pay the man yesterday. And that's easier said than done. And the key point that he put into that. And it just keeps going back to what I said. We don't have to pay a quarterback top money 2 to 3 years unless this season is a wash and we end up with a top 10 pick. What are they going to do? They're going to go out and try to get one of these top quarterbacks that's on the trade market. Point blank, period. Because if they do that, I can see the Falcons be that Seattle team in the next year or two. That just needs that quarterback to be consistent, drive the ball down the field, and the defense do the rest. Because think about it. We have a top-notch defense. We just need a signal call that can stay consistent. And with this offensive staff, I think we can do that. That's the only reason why I wouldn't agree in 2 to 3 years. If things go south this year, it's going to be a new quarterback in Atlanta in 2027. I don't see Penix being here. I don't see Tua being here. Just keeping it real with y'all. And if Penix is here, it's probably going to be as a backup. I'm just keeping it honest.
With it.
Just keeping it honest with y'all.
I think Penix, because he's still on that rookie deal, you can still work that rookie contract. But Tua, he's not on any rookie anything. He's a veteran. He's made already one contract. Still looking for another. It doesn't mean unless like I do agree with the fact that he was saying about Tua will have to take us to the playoffs. I do agree with that. Because if Tua takes to 8 and 9, I don't think that is groundbreaking to just be like, oh yeah, Tua, let's go ahead and talk about this this 40 or 50 mil we're about to give you. I don't think so. So it's like it's going to have to be playoffs, and you may have to actually end up getting a playoff berth. But at least playoffs, I think, secures a contract maybe. but playoff wins would just kind of like start adding on to the money, the incentives, and stuff like that.
Right.
If Tua is able to take us there, Michael Penix, I do agree. Michael Penix take us to the playoffs. You pick up that option, and you're cooking with fish grease because your quarterback is not necessarily ready to be paid that big contract yet, and you can still put those pieces around him, something that I wanted to do from the beginning. But it's neither here or there. That is
Facts.
hindsight. We are here now, and this is where
Jay
we're going.
Black, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yep.
21 and 23, that's where I'm at. But like I told Chris, I just going up 25 and set the market, and ain't nobody gonna top it because nobody giving Jameer Gibbs $25 million. Trust me, he can complain about it all he want, but if you just set the market to out of reach to where nobody can get there, because I guarantee you that is why they haven't come to a deal yet. I mean, I read in the article the other day they're not even close to a deal in Detroit, only
Still,
because Bijan Robinson in Atlanta, he's not signed a contract yet.
stalemate, and they came out the same year, so you already know Jameer is like, hey, I'm just saying what he does for the Falcons, I do for you. And it's similar to like, okay, if you consider Jameer Gibbs a tier lower than Bijan, then you got to
Mm,
put the same category that we say about Drake for the Lions.
right,
Regardless, even if he's not
right.
Bijan Robinson, he's still a capable back, and he is the Lions' number one running back. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, so I know
Right.
he looked at like if I walk out the door, oh, we already don't lost
That's
Knuckles.
3 to 4 losses. Yeah,
So
that's 3 to 4
so
losses by
lose
itself.
Sonic too.
Right.
So, so that's gonna be tough sledding for them boys up there, especially the way that they want to run the ball. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it happens. I do think when as soon as it comes down for Bajan, I was hoping that maybe it'll come down this week just to go ahead and just do some I guess some breaking news type of stuff. But honestly, this thing could still ride all the way through July. And think about it, it's July 7th now. It's talking about extensions. And you got
July
Kyle Pitts,
7th, we got another month. Yeah,
they got
another
15th.
month.
They got
Yeah.
till July 15th, or he's going to be playing on that franchise tag. And then who knows what will happen as far as will there be a trade deadline move or what? Because you're not, I don't see the Falcons just allowing Kyle Pitts to just to walk away. It's got to be something in it. So, but they only will have until the trade deadline to make something shake or just pay him.
Right. Right. Joel said if they go that route, who to blame if it goes south? For all that, why it makes that trade depend on quarterback that's available. If they don't trust both of them, yeah, that's true. They don't trust both of them. They got to go veteran. That's what I'm saying. I don't see them starting over with a rookie quarterback next year. I just don't see it. I mean, I might be wrong, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to win football games. If the win now window is still open, you got to keep it open, man. And the best way to do that, go get a quarterback that can at least guide the team. I mean, we ain't got to have no superstar quarterback. Go get somebody that can manage the game and make all the key throws. Because look what Sam Donald has been through with the Jets, the 49ers, the Panthers. I can just keep going on. Minnesota, he finally started winning games under the same type offense we're going to run here. It gets to Seattle, they unlock what he was missing in Minnesota, put a defense behind him, and they win the Super Bowl. So you just need somebody that can manage the game, make the key throws, and put points on the board. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you're an NFL quarterback, you study just to do that. I mean, let's keep it real. Ghost Pepper said ability to dominate the middle of the field and make tough catches elevates his quarterback. He said
Right.
Drake does that, and that's true. Which is why Atlanta made him the third highest paid receiver in the NFL. And you got to
But,
remember.
but, but,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
they say third highest on paper, but the money is the ninth highest
Ninth.
in
Right.
in the
Right.
NFL. So the Falcons still did good in that regard too. And think about it, in another 2 years or so, Drake London is going to be going further and further down that board when it comes to money. If you look at the gap, just look at the gap. The
Yeah.
Falcons have that 35.5 million, right, Smitty? But the
Yep.
gap between him and Jamar Chase is over 5 million.
Yep.
Anybody can easily come in and get paid 36, 37, 38, 39, and then next thing you know, there go Drake just moving down the ladder as far as top paid wide receivers.
And think about the guaranteed money is on $25 million. So basically, if he don't reach out to his incentives, the bottom line is 25 million up to I think before the escalators, which pushes it to 150. He's anywhere from 25 to 37 million. No, 35 million. 25 to 35 million. So that's pretty much where he's at. The rest of the escalators. If he doesn't hit those escalators, he's going to be towards the 35 instead of 37.25. So it makes sense. You've got to go out and do your job to get that extra money. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying too, bro. But yeah, so I mean, that Drake London situation it's definitely has, people feeling like a mixed bag about it. And I understand, but again, he's the Falcons' number one wide receiver, and I feel like they're paying him for many reasons. They believe in the future and what he has, and they believe in him, his number one receiving ability. The only thing about Drake, again, if he's their number one receiver, which he is, you're just going to have to keep those guys around him that can take the top off the defense at all times. As long as he's an Atlanta Falcon, which is until 2031, that's when he'll be an unrestricted free agent again,
Right.
or really unrestricted free agent period in his career. 2031, you're going to have to keep speed around him. That's why I like the Zachariah Branch. I like Jahan Dotson, who has some speed as well. The Olamide Zaccheaus, and Cash Jones going from running back to wide receiver, playing in some slot. Regardless, the thing is, you're going to have that speed around them, especially the fact that your number one and two targets are two tall guys who are not the fastest guys out there on the field, and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. So to keep all those other speed guys around, you're
Right.
going to have to consistently have speed with those guys.
Right. And I'm gonna tell y'all, and I'm gonna keep it short and brief. Well, how do you third year? Listen to these numbers. First
Mm.
year, 63 catches, 628 yards. That's as a rookie. Very next year, 100 catches, 1,130 yards, and six touchdowns. Now, the first two seasons, he had 10 touchdowns total. Last year, Super Bowl season, every game, playing every game, 119 catches, led the league in receiving yards with 1,793, 15.1 yards a catch. He had more touchdowns last year than his first 2 years combined. And he's a two-time Pro Bowl and all first team All Pro already. You got to pay those type players, and then when you win the Super Bowl, that's a contract escalator. So you got to do that. So look, you may not like it because he's young, but if he's putting up the numbers, guess what? It's solidified. It's justified.
Mhm.
So look,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm cool with the
And
contract.
think about it. They had one of the most athletic receivers. DK Metcalf didn't even put up nothing close to that. Yeah. So go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just saying. No, you're right. I'm just saying. And Drake is nowhere near of a diva as some of these guys that we're talking about, bro. So it's just like you got to take your wins when you can take them, even if
Right.
they're small. You got to be able to take them. Dirty Bird Gang says, other than the Burrow talk, do you see any other veteran, maybe good slash elite quarterbacks you can see in ATL targeting? Unless there's a stud coming out of college, I don't see them starting over either quarterback in Atlanta. The only guy for me that I can think that may become available would maybe like I guess like a Dak Prescott, or I don't know how you guys feel about a Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think Trevor's going anywhere after the season that he had last year. I think they're going to try to
Right.
capitalize and bank on the fact that Liam Cohen came in there and was able to get really like the best out of him. So I think they're going to continue to build around Trevor down there. But I'm thinking maybe Dak. You think about it, if Dallas doesn't do anything like that this
That's a
year,
good one.
Jerry really didn't want to pay him anyway. I can really see, a possibility of a guy on the move. And I mentioned
Right.
Dak. I'm pretty sure I know who you're going to mention. And it may hurt, but you know what I'm saying? I think that's where you may go that way. But I'm thinking Dak is another option as well.
Yeah, Dak is a good one, man, and how he's been, treated in Dallas. And the crazy part, he's the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. But
Hmm.
there's another guy that I've talked about as well outside of Burrow that I think is slowly sliding out the door, and that's Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
He's one of those guys that could become available as well. They could just trash it and start over at the quarterback position as well because they've got the draft capital to do it, and I could see that. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to think right quick about another one that I can look at. Um,
Yep. And
I
then I
want
got
to
all
say,
kind
go
questions.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, you can go ahead and talk about the quarterback. So I was just letting people know, like we're gonna talk about a little offensive line next too. Just a couple of guys.
Yeah, that's about the only, outside of Burrow, Jalen Hurts. Um,
I like this
that's
one too.
about
Though. We talked about this one, Smitty.
go ahead.
Personally, old Josh
Yeah, we
Allen.
talked about that, Josh Allen. Yeah, we talked about Josh Allen. Yeah, he's restructured that contract, kind of like what Miles Garrett did. So yeah, he could be an option if he decides to say, "Hey, I need to change the scenery." I don't think it's going to ever work in Buffalo, and with the offensive staff that we have, and I give y'all another one. I mean, we gonna go young. Hell, he worked with Shador in Cleveland. Bring him to Atlanta. He'll have veteran experience by then. And look, we had the weapons, we had a running back, we had the sources to make Shador just a little bit better. So yeah, I could see that. I've been thinking about that for a while. So
Mhm.
yeah, I could see Shador as well.
Yeah, man. So we'll see. Again, like it. That's the thing about it, bro. When you have a team that's really close, think about the Rams. Remember when the Rams traded, Jared Goff and got Matthew Stafford? Next thing you know, they win a Super Bowl ring, and it's getting to the point to where it's like I don't even think they even want Stafford to retire, but they realize he's getting older. Um, one of the oldest MVPs, and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, they drafted Ty Simpson, but Matthew Stafford, as long as he can play at a high level, the Rams are going to keep him right there in that quarterback position. Sometimes you have to, I guess, in the Rams case, and then sometimes in NFL history, sometimes you got to trade for a different guy who have different abilities, who can come in and possibly lead the team to where it needs to go.
Right. Yeah, and another quarterback, and we don't know how it's gonna happen. But if Cleveland took on a lot of his contract, Arthur Blank loved Deshaun Watson. If he can get Deshaun Watson at a good price, Arthur Blank
Mm.
will probably visit that again. I mean, who
Oh,
knows?
you think so, bro? I didn't even think of that even being
Look,
a
think
possibility.
about it, man. Roddy said it on an interview with Asante Samuel, how much Arthur Blank
Yeah.
loved Deshaun Watson. So I mean, he could still be an option, even though he's older at 31, 32 now. Um, think about it. New start in Cleveland. I'm sorry, from Cleveland to Atlanta. He played on Stefanski as well. So look, I'm telling y'all, just don't be surprised if we cannot get Burrow another Hurts, Dak Prescott, Shador, or Deshaun Watson could be an option, especially if Cleveland clears those books. Because think about it, they drafted another quarterback this
Uh,
year with three quarterbacks already on the roster, so they don't trust either one of those guys. They're just trying to start over fresh. That's all they're doing. Miles
all
Garrett
I
was
got to
another clear
say,
indication. Go ahead.
all I got to say is I'm gonna get on my hands and knees and I'm gonna pray to the Lord that Deshaun Watson is never a member of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just like, it doesn't even make sense anymore after everything that has happened. He's
It
gone through a
doesn't.
few now.
It
He's
doesn't, bro. But think about it. Arthur
I'm gonna
Blank,
have to.
he has a close relationship with him. And he probably still thinking, well, I could probably get a year or two out of him until we move over to the next guy. Just think about it,
That
man.
would be wild.
It would be
That would
wild,
be
but it
wild.
just would not surprise me. It just would not surprise me. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
At the end of the day, if the Falcons decide they want to do that, I wouldn't like it, but I get behind it. And of course, but oh wow, that's just crazy. Just with everything that has went down, the money and all that stuff. Like you said, they gonna have to eat a lot of that contract because that I'm not trying to take on that guaranteed money
Yeah,
at
because
all.
he's got what $100 million dead cap space this year. 90
Yeah,
some million. It's up there.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good on taking that dead cap hit after we just got rid of a dead cap hit. But anyway, yeah, I'm not trying to. That's one of the main reasons why. It's not even just the situation Deshaun put himself in at that particular time. I'm thinking about it from the cap aspect of it. You better eat a lot of that cap. I'm not trying to take on none of that when we're getting ourselves out of a cap situation. I'd rather take on Joe Burrow's contract. I'd rather take on Dak's contract. Any of those guys could just think
I
about the
take on
quarter.
Josh contract.
Yes, yes, any of those guys, and I get a better quarterback. I mean, yes, I do
And with the
think Dak
cap space,
Deshaun
how much did you
Watson.
say
Yes,
we're gonna have in cap space next year?
a possibility between 125 to 141. So I'm hoping
And
more
after
so
you
close to
pay
that.
Bijan, you still gonna have about 70 million left. So yeah, I agree. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, gotta
Yeah, I
eat that
agree,
money.
Daz. I agree, Daz. He was forced. I think that was the owner's choice. That was not Stefanski's choice. That was the
Yeah,
owner's choice.
yeah,
Same with Shador. Same with
right.
Shador.
Right. No, man, you just could see it on his face when they drafted Shadura. Like they were like, we just took another quarterback when we just drafted Dylan Gabriel like 3 rounds ahead of time. And it's so
And
crazy
what do they
because
do third
they
round this year? Same exact thing.
right.
Same
And it's
exact
so
thing.
crazy because bro, they leapfrogged the Eagles who were gonna draft Shador. They
Right.
leapfrogged the Eagles to take Shador. Like it just like what? But that's crazy. That actually may have been something that helped out Jalen Hurts though, because just imagine if Shador was behind Jalen Hurts right now,
Yeah, it
that
happened
would
for the
have actually
best.
feed into what you were saying about maybe out the door if the Philly crowd is like, hey man, get the ball to Shador.
And that would have been a clear indicator right there. You drafted
Right.
Shador Sanders, who's solidified in college with a 70 plus percentage completion percentage. Oh yeah. Yeah, look. And I'm telling you, if they would have drafted Shador, AJ Brown would still be there. He
Yeah,
would.
possibility of that. Yep, possibility of that. I mean, my thing is the whole relationship as we've seen how it unfolded, and I don't know if you guys seen that interview that AJ Brown had gave, but he was saying that him and Jalen Hurts hadn't been friends for a couple seasons anyway, and it was
Right.
just like they're out there supporting each other because of their teammates, and we talk about that all the time. You think about the stories between Michael and Scotty, but they went out there and got it done. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
and I mean, shoot, they did too. They won a Super
And the
Bowl.
crazy thing about it, man, then one is the godfather, the other's kid. That just blows my
Yeah.
mind. That's just crazy.
Yeah, but for the Browns, yeah, and then they went and drafted another quarterback, the Taylor Green. Now, I actually we was actually asked about him, and he does have some good tools, but he's going to Cleveland, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro, shit, like they have like how many quarterbacks are they going to draft? Like Bernie
Yeah.
Kosar, please come through the door for these guys. My gosh, it's like
Yeah.
offensive line,
Oof.
yes. I feel like a storyline that we need to follow very closely is James Brockermeyer. James Brockermeyer and Ryan Newsel and Corey Levin. I think it speaks volumes the fact that if they were giving him a rest day, cool, veterans get rest days. But the fact that Brockermeyer was able to leapfrog Corey Levin, somebody who was just playing under Bill Callahan to get first team reps and actually still do well. And the legendary Bill Callahan, had praising remarks to say about him, loving his technique, loving the fact that he was able to stonewall guys, and the fact that he can put his hand on them and continue to allow him to perfect that technique. Because, yeah, he's a bit undersized. I get it, like a little bit shorter arms, but the things that he did at the Senior Bowl, he was stonewalling bigger defenders. He was stonewalling really everybody. He didn't allow anybody to get to the quarterback at all at the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl 1-on-1s, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11. There was no sacks being let up by James Brockermeyer. And he has a very impressive resume as far as in the college levels,
Right.
too. Now, some guys think that he's not going to make this team. There are some people that think he's not even going to make the practice squad and feel like his technique, his feet, and he'll get bullied in the NFL. Like I've seen that on Falcons Digest. But I beg to differ, and I think the people that are close to the team think so as well. I think this guy is so intelligent, and the fact that his techniques are good enough to Bill Callahan can lay his hands on them to enhance them, and this guy can actually make this team possibly, possibly never guaranteed, but possibly even push the Falcons to have to make a decision on how much money or how much of an extension or if any extension will be given to Ryan Newsom.
Yeah, and they said this thing about Drew Dalman having short arms, but it seemed like he figured out just to be fine. He just retired, but they
Mhm.
said that about him. But hey, he made it work. Another guy, Matt Hennessy, another guy, short arms. So I mean, look, it's just all about heart, man. If you got the heart to play the position, you'll find a way around, your shortcomings. It's just a proven fact.
Mm.
Q4L, man, he said if Jack Strand holds it down, we'll be good and we'll save ourselves a draft pick. We have the pieces already and we'll have the money next season. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, there's
If
some truth
Tua
to that.
MPJ doesn't pan out, I can see Ian Cunningham weaponizing their first round draft assets to secure a definitive solution. Absolutely. And that's what we meant about going to get a veteran. That's exactly what we mean. But go ahead, Chris.
Mhm. No, yep. And Joe, he feeling like exactly what I'm saying. He said I definitely disagree. I watched all last year when he played University of Miami, and I disagree with them too, Joe. Like I really believe that this guy is a stonewaller. I believe it's a reason why you don't give up any sacks. Like this guy's only given up like one sack in the past 2 seasons. He's played well over 800 snaps. So I'm just saying, like honestly, that is not luck, okay? You don't play 800 collegiate snaps or well over 800 collegiate snaps and not give up a sack, and that's luck.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about? You know
And
what I'm
y'all
saying?
got to
So,
think too. Just like just like Darman, he got that NFL pedigree because his dad actually played on team with Drew Darman's dad in San Francisco. So they've got nothing but the best coming up when it comes to coaching. So James Brockemeyer has probably had nothing but the best coaching since he's really been playing football.
mm,
And you add Bill Callahan to that equation, that only going to significantly make him better. So look, I'm telling y'all just don't know how much of a blessing that Bill Callahan is going to be to this offensive line. Even Ryan Nuzell, who we talked about, who was too small. Even Jawan Taylor, who played, a little below average last year, he's probably going to even improve. It's all about coaching. Yeah, Dalman
yeah,
retired. Absolutely,
if
he
he
did.
can't get it out of him, I don't know who the heck can. I know you had a video about an undrafted free agent too, man. What you think about Malman? His swing tackle.
Oh, but I like Mama because as I look at the size 6'8", 310, and the crazy thing about it, he's a pretty good pass protector. And those long arms that he has, it can sway edge rushes and detour them to go in the wrong direction. And if he develops into what I think he could possibly take over for Jake Matthews when he's done, or he can stay on the right side, and we have a guy on a rookie contract for the next 3 to 4 years. So I actually love what he's going to bring to this team as far as size, the way he plays the game. The only thing that scares me is the same thing with McGarry. That footwork is just a little too slow. But when it comes to technique, pass blocking, it's where he excels at. And we know with this running system, Bill Callahan can help him with that run blocking. So all he has to do is work on the run blocking and work on his footwork, and I think he'll be fine.
Yep. No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, man. Yeah. Again, that's what we're talking about as far as all this different competition that is coming through. We need to really appreciate it and just I know we're gonna like different guys. I mean, we all have our personal favorites, but at the end of the day,
Right.
let's just hope that the best team is put out there because we have got to get off of this playoff drought. I'm starting to see these graphics about last time this team was in the playoffs, and I'm starting to see that Falcon logo just a little bit too much now. So
Yeah.
we We just got to get it together. 82 says Callahan making them boys do reports. I love that as well, Carlo. On the game and old players is just shaping in their minds in different ways expected. Yes, I do love that fact about that. Bill Callahan is having these guys do those reports, find out different information and little things that you possibly can add to your game about the guy that you're doing a report on. So I really
Facts.
appreciate those little things,
And
and
you
it
and
be the
you
little things that add up. Go ahead,
and
bro.
y'all want to know where he gets that from? He gets that from the great Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs taught the offensive line like no other. And Bill Callahan falls into line as one of the best offensive line coaches they ever coached in the NFL, period. So he's had great teachers as well. So he just passed the game on as to how he was taught. And guys, he's coaching like the Hogs in Washington. You talk about remember he was the head coach in Oakland when the Raiders were in Oakland. He was a head coach. So
Yeah.
he's got experience. And that's what the Falcons needed last year to push this team over. No slight on Dwayne Leffert. Dwayne Leffert was a hell of an offensive line coach. But I think with Bill Callahan, you're taking that to another level, and that's going to help the Falcons.
Yeah. And Callahan, he also
Uh,
gave credit
Go ahead.
to Dwayne Letford too. Like he gave credit. He said Dwayne Letford did a great job with these guys. There's not a whole lot that I have to do. Like, what I'm saying? I feel like that's a great thing because that lets you know. Like when he got to Tennessee, he had to do a whole lot just to get that offensive line to even look somewhat competent because he didn't have the guys. But now
Right.
coming over here, he realizes the pedigree that he has, the upgrade that he has, and he's like, hey, Dwayne Letford has these guys, playing and as a unit. I don't have to come in here and do mad science work. I can just come in here, keep it simple, but keep it effective. Let these guys work on their technique and continue to get better. And oh yeah, Alex Van Pelt. Alex Van Pelt is the quarterback coach. When you have also as assistants Thomas Instrom, and you also have Tommy Reese is going to be the offensive coordinator, not Kevin Stefanski. But I know Stefanski, his offensive mind, he's still going to be in that room somewhere, at least listening in on the meetings
He
and all
gonna
that
put
good
his
stuff.
2 cents in. Let's keep it
Yeah.
real.
Oh, and don't
Yeah,
and don't act like Matt Ryan is not going to be in these quarterback meetings as well. I mean, these
yeah.
quarterback
And
meetings,
that's a good thing about it. DBG,
he's going to be
he gonna
there.
get the best out of whoever he has. Yep, that's a
Yep.
good thing.
And if he can't
Go
get
ahead.
the best out of you, then I just don't know.
Yeah, facts.
I just don't know no more.
Yeah. It's time for you to pick another career. Keep it honest, because he can teach any kind of system the NFL offers. Zone blocking, like Chris talked about. Running in between tackles. He can teach all of that. And another thing that we talked about on the show, you might see a H back in the backfield a little bit more. With how they gonna run the ball, because I think that they like fullbacks in this system, and I think it makes sense. But since we don't have a fullback on the roster, just expect one to be in the backfield just a little bit more.
Yep, I totally agree with that, man. Let's see what else we got. Well, I know looks like we have maybe like one more question here. Miss Didi says, so would y'all make Jesse a Falcon for life? We you know what? I would love to
Good
have
question.
Jesse Bates in Atlanta.
Good question.
I would love to have Jesse Bates in Atlanta, but I know it's all a business. And just think about the young headhunters that we got out here right now. We still got the Billy Bowman, who's still trying to work his way back from recovery. We already have the ball hawk and Xavier Watts. Then you still have Kobe Bryant out there. You still have, of course, Avion Terrell now. Right now, Mike Hughes is still on the team, but I don't expect him to be a part of the future. But you still got Natron Brooks. You brought him back on a 1-year deal. Let's see if you want to extend him. Darnay Holmes, C.J. Henderson. It's a lot of different guys that the Atlanta Falcons can like try to go with in that regard. So, or they possibly could just move on to somebody who may be cheaper or younger. I said maybe just not as Jesse Bates. But again, like I said, at the right number, I would love to keep Jesse in Atlanta, but I just know he's probably going to be playing for at least one more contract. I'm not sure how much longer he wants to play football. But I know he's probably going to be playing for at least one more contract, even if it is a 3-year deal, with the max money that he possibly can get. And I don't know if he's going to get that here in Atlanta, especially with the young talent that he has, coming up in the wings right now. That would be tough. That'd be really tough to do. He had to take a major pay cut, and I don't know if Jesse does that with a family, home,
Yeah,
all that stuff. What you think, Smitty?
yeah, yeah. I agree with that 100%. It always go back to contract, man. At the end of the day, if he takes a pay cut to 10 or 11 to $12 million a year, they can make it work. Let's say he signs for, let's say, 3 years, uh 3 years, about 45 million, and they kind of backload the contract and put most of it in signing bonus. It could work that way. But as far as what he's worth, he's still in the range of 15 to 20 million. Let's just keep it real. But if he wants to
Mm.
stay a Falcon for life, he's gonna have to take a pay cut. And to be honest, I would take that pay cut because he's in the best situation to succeed. Now he probably could go to a contender, but when contenders, they don't always have the money to pay these players because usually they're only one or two players away. So
Yep.
in saying that, I think if he wants to win, I think he needs to stay in Atlanta, take a pay cut, and work with what he has already because he's used to these players. But at the end of the day, I can't tell nobody, how to spend their money. But smart
Mhm.
move would be to take a pay cut and stay here. And I can still see somebody paying him 4 years. He what 15 million a year here. So yeah, he could be in that spot 4 years, 60 million, or 4 years, 70 million, and move up to about 17 a year. That's just up to him.
Yeah, man.
You don't see a
That's a
contending
really
team giving him that kind of money. It's gonna be a team you might see him in Cincinnati again.
last thing before we get up out of here. I almost forgot it, honestly. But two guys, what I'm saying, that received charges this off season. One guy received it before he was even a part of the team, but both charges for both guys pretty much have been dismissed. As long as James Pierce Jr. stays out of trouble for this 12-month program, stays away from his ex-girlfriend, Miss Rakia Jackson, he will be in the clear and be able to move on with not only his life or his career and try to start putting this stuff behind him. Who knows? Maybe he starts doing more charity work just to let people know, hey, look, man, I made a mistake, but it's not the type of guy that I want to be known as. So it's great news for both guys. Zachariah Branch also, of course, he was charged with like an obstruction and law enforcement and receiving that citation and everything about private sidewalks. And there was actually some people that said, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not drafting Branch just because he got in trouble like that." Now, I do feel like we were being a little bit harsh for those who felt like that because of what's happening with JPJ. And I totally you don't want to have keep
Right.
bringing trouble in. But I always felt like this whole thing with Zachariah Branch was going to get thrown out, and we talked about it then because it didn't make any sense. So it's thrown out. The thing with JPJ, do the program, that's going to be behind you. Just stay focused. I feel like now that those things are starting to get behind these guys, they can focus on life, they can focus on football. And I feel like it's a great thing for the Atlanta Falcons having your one of your top picks, your third overall pick, having a fresh mind to be able to like they say, okay, whew, that is out of my mind. Now I can focus even harder on football. James Pierce Jr., he can do the same and focus on rebuilding his image as well. So I just wanted to just touch on that and just say that's great news for the Atlanta Falcons, but more importantly, great news for the human
Absolutely.
beings. Yep, great news for both of them.
We're gonna read Ghost Pepper's comment, and then I tagged the comment, and we're gonna read that question as well from
Okay.
early in the show. Ghost Pepper said Jesse Bates remained a Falcon for life. Ultimately depends on his performance, how his current $24.7 million cap hit aligns with the front office long-term financial plans, and that's what it
Mhm.
all boils down to is money at the end of the day. If the money fits and he wants to take a pay cut, hey, I'm for it. If he don't, we've already drafted his replacement. So I mean, no way we losing. We just not losing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the
Oh,
last
I
question by
did
Joel.
see
He asked
that.
this earlier in the show.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did
so
see that.
this is the question Joel had from early in the show. I had to save it to the end of the show, and we talked about it. Um, he said, "Do you think Braden Trice and Troy Anderson fighting for a roster spot?" I absolutely do think both of them is fighting for a roster spot, but can either one of them stay healthy? Braden Trice has missed the first 2 seasons of his career with a knee injury. Troy Anderson has been in and out the lineup for his entire career with the Falcons. And I keep telling y'all,
Yeah.
I just think that Troy is going to be more of a special teams / rotational guy at this point to save his career and put less wear and tear on his body. As for Braden Trice, if he comes out the gate and just stay healthy, he'll be fine. Because even in that little sample that we got of him, we know he got that motor to get to the quarterback. We know what he can do as a football player. He just has to
Mm.
stay healthy. Troy Anderson, on the other hand, I think, he got, I said it before and I'm not ashamed to say it again. I think he got one foot in retirement and the other one, on the practice field. Because I'm telling y'all, if not for that NFL rule, he would probably not be an Atlanta Falcon today. He probably
Man,
wouldn't.
I know he wouldn't. Because what would be the point? You haven't got anything from him, and and Didi, like, don't get me wrong. I have no love lost for Troy Anderson, the player on the field. You know, what I'm saying, the person. I'm pretty sure he's a great guy, but at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't even necessarily say he's trash. I haven't even seen enough of him to say that he's even trash. I just think that he is down on his luck, a guy that just cannot stay healthy right now, and we can't even see exactly who the freak Troy Anderson really is outside of the sample size. One thing about it, we know he plays very well against the New Orleans Saints regardless, but still we got to have more than that because there are more teams than that. We don't play the Aints every week. And at the end of the day, you gotta the best ability is your availability. And
Facts.
that goes no matter what the name on the back of the jersey says, it's the what about the name on the front of the jersey. And you have to be available to wear it to get out there on the field. So
Facts.
again, nothing personally against Troy Anderson, just professionally, he just cannot stay on the field. And honestly, I just think that when you still had Nick Benito, who I would have took in that spot, on the board, you risked it on a
Oh, you ain't
on
gonna
a
let that go, is you?
bro. I can't because I just can't
You
believe
ain't
it.
even
And
gonna let that go.
it just was right
Oh
there, and
boy.
that was a guy that I said,
I mean,
okay, there
yeah,
and
come
take
on,
him.
Chris. You know what it was. It was all hype. It was all hype. That's what it was. It was all hype.
I feel like it was so many of
All hype.
those. I want to make it a project, and I want to, what I'm saying, use a guy and make him hybrid, what I'm saying, type style. You just kind of want that hybrid type player, and it's like, okay,
Right.
cool. But sometimes you really just gotta go and just get the football player. And think about it, keep it real. We're hoping that everything works out with Kendall Daniels because he is a part of that whole archetype
Yeah,
too, as
you
far
right.
as like
Can't argue
former
with it.
safety, former safety, it's in linebacker. I think he will pan out, but I'm just saying that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that he's going to pan out, that saying that he's going to be similar.
Troy not gonna overtake either one of those records, bro. He not.
Right.
He
That's
not
what
gonna
I'm saying.
overtake those records because they're
And
young
then
and they fresh.
think
Right.
about this part too. We're trying to bank on that type of archetype and everything. All right, we're hoping that these new guys are going to be more closer to Divine Diablo than I said than
Facts.
Troy Anderson or Braylon Trice. Now Braylon Trice, I know he's working hard trying to get back. I really hope that kid can get out there on the field because as much as we talk about Troy Anderson, at least we have some games we can reference Troy Anderson to. We don't have
Right.
anything we can reference Braylon to. So
Then but
hopefully,
practicing OTAs. That's it. After practicing
right.
OTAs, the next step last 2 years been injuries. But Kendrick, you can go to my page. I talked to that to a little bit of the effect as to writer had talked about Kyle Pitts being a trade option at the trade deadline in November. So you can go to my page and check that out, and that'll give you my answer to that question. And it is actually a good question because I've been asked that in public as well. But yeah, go to my page. I talk about it just a little bit. But yeah, I agree. Mark it
But
down. What's up, man? Y'all go check out Mark it
Mark,
down.
what's that?
That's nephew, man. He on YouTube, man. Go check him out. Mark, if you can, put your link in the chat so they can go directly to your page and check you out.
Yeah, man. I'm he's been doing his playoff thing, man. His playoff videos, man, and they taking off and doing this thing, man. So yeah, shout out to Mark, fam. Ghost Pepper says facts. A1 Troy Anderson has been on a freaking milk carton. That's what I'm saying. Like for well
Shit,
over a
worse than what you
season.
talking about.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, fam. Like this. Yeesh. I agree with the cliche that the best
I
ability is the
agree with
best,
it.
but you
Yeah,
also have to be talented.
yep.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I think Troy can be a good rotational
Facts.
piece and a upgrade to special teams. Yeah, special teams. I can
Just what
I
I
can
just
definitely see
said. Just what I
that. Yep.
just said. Yep, absolutely.
But my thing
Think
is,
about it. He
I
got
just
full
want him
force speed.
to stay on the field before I even give him anything else. Like, for example, I would stay with Troy Anderson on special teams for as long as I possibly can, only because I want him to remain healthy. If he seems like he's starting to, to stay healthy, then I'm like, okay, let me throw you out there for a couple of defensive snaps and see how you do. If you know, just bring him on
Right.
slowly. Because I mean, how else can we have to? We can't even full throttle guys like Troy, guys like Braylon, because they don't have a lot of snaps and they've been gone for so long. You have to be worried about those knees, those legs,
Yep.
so the injuries. You have to
What,
look how
what
long
do
they've
I
been
always
gone.
say, A1? What do I always say, A1? In the back of your mind, you got to know that you can take that hit again. You got to
Yes.
know it. Because
Or
it's
for
more
them,
mental than
you gotta know
physical
that
after
you
you
can
get
get
that
off
first
that
injury.
block.
Right.
When
Absolutely.
you got a grown man pushing back against you, your legs got to be strong enough to hold up against those blocks, to hold up against those
Right.
pushbacks, all that stuff. Like that. There's a reason why they call it the a movable force versus the irresistible object. When you have two forceful guys going at it, somebody got to win. And if you have a discrepancy in your body on somewhere like that, when that is your job to push and pull and all that stuff like that, that can be tough, y'all. That can be
Yeah.
tough. So we're gonna see, bro. We're
And
gonna
one
see.
thing for sure, one thing for certain, and two things for sure. As a defensive end or a linebacker, you're gonna get them chop blocks. They go directly for them knees. So you got to be mentally strong and strongly aware enough as to what's going on in the field at all times. So it won't happen, but at the same time, they can sneak you up from behind and do it, and you won't even know it. So I mean,
Mhm.
look, it's just part of the game. That's why knee injuries are so devastating because there's only one chop block, a clip block away from happening again. Or sometimes, like Chris said earlier, sometimes it's just a non-contact injury. You just running full speed, step the wrong way, your cleat gets stuck, and boom, we back in the same spot again.
Bro,
So it's just
you
mental.
can be stepping out the shower in the hotel in the team hotel bathroom and slip, and that's it.
Right, right. Slap like that dude. That slap like that dude. Slip like that dude did on this Christmas when she put that baby all on the floor and he couldn't stand up. Yeah.
I'm just saying, for
Mhm.
any reason, if it's destined to happen, it's going to happen. I know we can try to be as careful as possible, and I know for one thing, I know I'm one person that definitely try to be careful because I ain't trying to break nothing, I ain't trying to tear nothing,
Man,
nothing.
my old ass ain't getting up. I'm telling you, I ain't getting up. I'ma just lay there. Oh Lord, oh,
Right? So
but
it's like
I'm
if
not moving.
part of your story though, bro. It's nothing you can do about it. Like it sucks, but it's just like, dang, this was
Man,
supposed to
just go and call the ambulance because it's over with.
happen. Right.
But the crazy thing about this, Jay Black, A1 we did a show last year around this time. I made a short out of it, and we still in the same spot. Still in the
Mm,
same spot. And it won't be a surprise cut this year because we kind of expected. But last year, yeah, we thought he was gonna get cut last year, but never really touched the field. He didn't touch the field to be exact.
you didn't touch it at
So,
all.
so look, yeah, it won't be a surprise this year, but hey,
Didn't touch it at all, and that's quite unfortunate because I was hoping to be wrong, but I said he probably wasn't going. We probably wasn't even going to see him, and
yeah,
I wanted to be wrong. I kind of said it to kind of try to be wrong, but I'm talking about I was white. I was right as rain.
I mean, that video was just ironic. It could be. we talked about it before the show, and a lot of the social media sites and things of this nature, that was the first name that was coming up before we even put the video up. So look,
Mhm.
it happens. But yeah, I agree, Ghost Pepper. It could be like a digits or not. It just won't touch the pill. It just could be. But yeah, man, you know what to do, man. Another great show. We had to come in and talk to y'all for a little while. We went a little bit over, but yeah, like I said, we get to talking. We just sometimes we just can't shut up, and it happens.
All good.
DBG, we appreciate you, my guy. He says
Appreciate
always mandatory minute count, training count right around the corner. We count down preseason season. We'll be here before you know it. Absolutely 200% correct. And the day that we come out to training camp, we hope to see y'all there. So
Yep.
we can chop it up, take pictures, and do what we need to do to have a good time, man. And y'all can bring your boy 10 piece, and I'm good to go. But yeah, Chris, you know what to do, man.
Yeah, man, it's A1 Forever Sports. Come over to the platform and be a part of the A1 family. Be generational because it's always time to be. Don't you settle for less because you always can have more with the vision. I didn't say that in a minute. But also Hawks Digest. Catch me on Hawks Digest as well as Falcons Digest, man. Just maneuvering, man. Just trying to get out this good content. Do the good Lord's work. Talking about Falcons and Hawks, and I'm trying to work on even getting a Braves channel going on over there. So we'll see what happens. But more opportunities, the better.
Come to these damn channel, boy.
Hey
Chris,
man,
man,
more
that boy
opportunity,
doing
the
it all.
better.
I
Well,
want to be like Chris when I grow up.
hey man, shoot, you talking about it? I'm trying to, walk my own path. I see the path and I see the trail, but I'm kind of like veering off the trail and just, creating my own path. You know what I'm saying? Through I guess it's a couple thorn bushes, a couple vines. I don't see a snake already too, but at the same time,
Hey,
still
boy,
going
them
down
snakes gonna
the
be out
path.
there, ain't they?
Now them snakes gonna be out there, man. You gotta keep them boots handy too, because sometimes they'll try to hide and lurk and try to bite you on your ankles, and you gotta make sure
Hey,
you got the right protection, so they
tried,
can't bite through it, and you just can grab them and
tried to
snap
bite
the
me
neck.
on my ankle a couple of weeks ago, but you know what I said? The devil won't win. I just pray for him and keep it moving.
Uh,
Just keep swiping, man. That's all you got
that's
to do.
That's all you got to do. But
That's
yes,
all.
man. Make sure y'all find y'all peace today. It is 5:12. Make sure you find your peace today because positive energy always creates elevation. We always, always, always truly appreciate anybody that comes through the live, no matter if it's 5 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. Like
You
we
gonna still
appreciate
be
everybody
talking.
that comes through. We really do. We really do.
Still
So
be talking.
yep. Shout out to everybody, last one of you guys. And we'll be back soon, man, because I know I'm planning for a show. It may go down tomorrow. Actually, I got to check my schedule, but it may go down tomorrow. And then we got a big show on Tuesday. Make sure y'all are pulling up at 8 o'clock for
You can go and
Tuesday.
tell them who coming through, man. Go ahead and tell them so they can tune in. Go ahead
Go
and
ahead and tell them.
yeah,
Don't tell them we have a mystery guest.
no,
Don't
they
tell them.
ain't got to be no mystery because I mean,
Okay.
we
All
talked
right.
about it the other day and we spoke it into
Well,
existence.
well,
So,
guys, for the 83
yeah,
people who are still here, tell a friend to tell a friend that we're going to have a legend, seriously, going to be here on Tuesday. He is a guy that I've talked about. If it wasn't for him, I don't know how much I'd be into the logo, but he's definitely one of the people that got me and kept me right here at the logo. I'm talking about wide receiver, Redan High School. Make sure you stand up for this because Terrence Mathis will be joining us on Tuesday at 8 p.m., guys.
yeah,
Yes, the Terrence Mathis, number 81 himself. So who also, by the way, happy birthday because today is his birthday.
absolutely. That's where I was going. You know it. That's why I said go and tell it. That's why I
Yeah,
said go and tell it. Go ahead.
so yeah, man. Like seriously, I know I understand what happened with the Carlos Allen Jr. thing. I understand, but we still, again, like we always tell you, continue to work, and that's why we still was able to bring Daniel Flick on. Somebody, a friend of the show. Clint came back, and now we're also going to be talking to the legendary coach who is down there at Athens Christian Academy High School as the leading the charge down there, but he's going to be right here on your phone or your TV screen with us talking Falcons football, talking just football in general with Terrence Mathis. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to have to temper my feelings because I know I'm going to be giddy as a kid. And but y'all make sure y'all pull up for that. It is going down Tuesday at 8 p.m. Terrence Mathis joining the show.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all ain't watched Terrence before, I have him on probably about 4 or 5 times, maybe more. Um, he is tempered like a coach. He's gonna tell you the cold hard truth if you don't want to hear it, and he's just gonna be upfront with you. One thing that I love about him, man, he's a man of God, and he always is about positive things, man. So, if you like positive, and you like life lessons, he's the guy you want to tune in for. But my boy, let's get it, GA. Y'all go to check him out on YouTube, man. He does gaming, Madden 2K, MLB the show, WWE, anything you can think of, he does it. So please go check him out. Channel growing. So if you in the video games, please go to Let's Get It, GA. Before we get out of here, all I know is both Tua and MPJ both need to play in the preseason. I agree with that, 200%. Hope Stefanski doesn't follow the Arthur Smith and Raheem train on not playing players. You got to start something for a freshman. You got to. And I agree. They got to play in preseason one because Penix is coming back from injury. If he's ready, he got to play. Tua is trying to bounce back from a down year in Miami, so he's got to get on track as far as chemistry, rhythm, and all of that. So I agree with that 200%. So yeah, please check us out Tuesday. Terrence Mathis is going to slide through, talk to us for a while. And y'all know where to find me, man, right here on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Also find me on Twitter at FatBoySlim_21, because y'all know I'll be over there doing it up on Twitter, man, because that's what I do. And yeah, Chris said find y'all peace today, and I agree. And I also tell y'all keep faith in God, because y'all keep faith in God, things will start, rotating in the right direction. Because if you got God in control of everything, no weapon formed against you should prosper, man. And that's the God honest truth. Seen it with my own eyes. But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here, man, and we're gonna catch y'all probably tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on what happens. But we're gonna roll on out of here because it's time to eat Sunday dinner. I'm hungry and I had a long day. And we're gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace.